Good morning. So just doing my morning cardio walking vlog, and I just thought I would just talk about the topic of finding your life's purpose. Okay, and this is something that I found myself. Okay, so I discovered my life's purpose, and once you find out your life's purpose, life just becomes worthwhile living. Okay, you don't live an average life because you've got a purpose, okay, a mission to fulfill, and all your problems in life, like all the issues that you have in life, all your worries, stuff like that, they all just become so small once you have a purpose out there, because you know that there's a bigger mission out there for you. Okay, and we all have stresses and worries in our life, right? We all have problems, we all have issues. But when you have your life's purpose, you don't stem towards, like, those problems that you have become so tiny, they almost get outdone by your mission, your purpose, your life's purpose. Yeah, so I'm here to share some wisdom with you, how I found my purpose, how I strive towards working towards my purpose every day, and hopefully you can learn some insight with this. Yeah, because someone that doesn't live a life of purpose, like if I was to ask you what's your purpose, a lot of people would just freeze, or they'd make some bullshit answer up. But in all honesty, if you don't have a purpose in life, you're just living a very, very average life. Okay, and an average life meaning you're just taking each day as it comes, you're just getting by, and you know that you're destined to be great, right? Like, there's more in you. We've all got a hidden potential within us. It's just whether we want to unlock that or not, right? And unfortunately, sometimes we let our worries overcome, the bigger missions in life, our purpose, what we're meant to fulfill our lives with. And, sad to say, but many of us will actually go through life, just taking each day as it comes, just accepting, settling for less, taking the easy way out. And unfortunately, by doing stuff like that, you're just going to hinder what your true life's purpose is. And when you ignore your consciousness, your true calling, like what you're actually meant to do, and by taking the easy way out, you start operating in shame and guilt, right? And when you start operating in shame and guilt, you start getting pissed off with yourself, you start getting pissed off with the world, because you're not living to something that's true and pure, you're just basically winging it, taking the easy way out. You get those feelings in return, all right? You can't hide those feelings. Like, you can't hide shame and guilt. When you're taking the easy way out, when you're settling for less. And look, I don't want this to happen to you. That's why I'm making this video, so I can try and enlighten you to find your purpose. And that's why I'm going to share how I found my purpose as well. But yeah, so firstly, let me just give you a little recap. So before I found my purpose, it's about 2 years ago, I was in a bad position in life. I had many bad addictions, like women, drugs, I was addicted to speed. I've been arrested plenty of times, was about to go to prison as well, until I had to pay thousands of dollars to get a lawyer and bail myself out of that situation. I couldn't construct a sentence clearly together, like I couldn't speak properly when I was in my midst of addictions and so forth. I had a bad circle of friends. I had sort of resentment towards my father for the trauma he put our family through, the trauma that he put us through from such a young age, and him having his addictions in life, okay, and just had a roller coaster of mess in my life, right? And I was at a point where I really, literally wanted to end my life. Like, I was just so fucking stuck. And I knew there was something greater out there for me. I was just stuck in a tangle of webs, right? And as I said, we all have problems, we all have our own issues that we deal with, right? But at the end of the day, if I can conquer those problems I had in my life, okay, which were very, very serious, and I did a full 360, okay. I'm not perfect. I'm always developing myself every single day, like to becoming a better version of myself. And I'm going to be a lifelong student with self-improvement, personal development. I'm always going to develop myself for the rest of my life. That's something that I'll never give up. Yeah, after finding your purpose, you never will give up on self-improvement. Those that are actually true to improving themselves and helping others, they purely won't give that up, right? But going back to what I was saying, so I was in a rut, okay, and I managed to, you know, completely do a 360 and fix myself. I didn't have to go to rehab. I didn't have to rely on anyone. I did this all by myself, right? And I'm so proud of how far I've come, because a lot of people relapse, a lot of people end up suiciding, a lot of people, you know, there are things that a lot of people do, right? And then there's me, where I was stuck in a position where it's like, okay, you either end everything because like you're just in a mess, or you reconstruct yourself into a brand new person, give that a go and see how that goes, right? Like, because I didn't know what was on the other side for me. All I knew was I was stuck in a mess, but I knew I had a greater purpose out there, right? Like I knew it, I just felt it. I knew I was destined for more. We all are destined for more, right? It's just majority of us, you might not even have like bad addictions, but majority of us just settle for less, right? We just settle for less. We accept a mediocre life, and unfortunately we just go all the way. We basically live day after day, and just one day we'll pass away and just a mediocre life will just go, right? And I don't want that. I want a life where I can, you know, leave a legacy behind, help my loved ones, you know, be a good role model to people around me, and that's what I truly want, right? So I gave myself a good solid 12 months where I developed myself into a brand new person. And what I did was, because I didn't know how good, like I hadn't read a book in like 15 years. I hadn't, you know, learned any skills properly in years. Like I was literally like just living that badass life. Yeah, I was living that badass life for so long. Addictions, pleasure chasing. So I know I can speak on these topics, right? Because I've been on the opposite side of the spectrum to where I'm at right now. So I invested a lot of time into reading like self-help books, self-improvement books, and this one book that came to mind that I want to offer you, right? Like I want you to really read this, because this book completely changed my life. Not just this book, there were a lot of other books that helped me on my journey, but the one book that really opened my eyes, you know how sometimes you read something and you resonate well with the author. So I resonated well with this guy because he was like, you know, in his 30s. It wasn't like some 60-year-old guy telling a story when he was like 20 or anything like that, right? He was in his 30s. The book's called The Morning Miracle by Hal Elrod, and it's 6 habits that will transform your life, okay? And no bullshit, it fucking transformed my life. Like legitimately, I just worked at it day in, day out, and it transformed my life. So if I'm someone that went from like a former person with addictions, you know, about to go to prison, getting arrested by the police, if I can read a book, and I hadn't read a book in 15 years, so if I can do it, you can do it, right? Like that's what I'm trying to inspire here by this video. So I read that book by Hal Elrod, and honestly that book completely changed my life. It's a self-improvement book. It's really, really good. The way he's written it is so relatable in a sense. Like when you read it, you feel like he's talking to you, right? He's written it with like from the bottom of his heart. Like it's not something where he's just trying to make money out of, you know, some people make books like trying to make money. This is purely written from his heart, and you can actually feel it, right? And just to give you a quick recap about that book, he was someone who basically died and came back to life. Like he died in a car accident. Like he went head on with another car at like 100 kilometers. The car crushed. He died at the scene. He then went to hospital. He started living again. He was in hospital for a long time. Like he broke so many bones, his back, his spine, like everything you can name, right? 100 kilometers, head on accident. It was really bad. Then after that, he went into like $500,000 worth of debt. Okay, and he had a baby on the way. He just got married. Like, could you imagine having a baby on the way, just getting married? You're in $500,000 debt. And he then completely changed his life around by instilling the habits that he's described in the book. And these are habits that you, me, anyone can do, like the next day, like tomorrow. They don't cost money. You don't have to go to no freaking lecture to do this. Like, as I said, I like to learn in a simple fashion, and I love to learn from people that have had these people that I can resonate with, right? So Hal Elrod, mad book, yeah, like mad book. The Morning Miracle, read that. And after I read that, I started implementing those strategies from the book, and I was like, okay, look, I don't know my life's purpose right now, but what I'm going to do is just reconstruct myself into a brand new person, and I'm going to spend 12 months and I'm going to do everything, whatever it takes, to reconstruct myself into a brand new person. And that means like changing my mental health, like fixing my mental health, getting my fitness back on track. Because like, yeah, I used to train when I used to live like, you know, that addiction life, but it would be like training during the week, doing drugs on the week. Do you know what I mean? So you never fulfill your potential muscle growth. You always kind of just stay at the same spot. So I was like 17% body fat. I didn't look the same how I look now. Like my face was inflamed. I just looked yuck. Yeah, I didn't look like how I look today. Like, trust me, if you look at a photo of me 2 years ago, it almost looked like I was sick, and I was like 17% body fat, like that combined together. It was disgusting. Like, I used to hate looking at myself in the mirror. But past is past. Can only talk about the future and the present right now. But look, after spending and dedicating 12 months into becoming a new person, as I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. Like, I knew I wanted more in life, but I just didn't know what exactly I wanted to do. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to worry too much about what I'm going to do as a job for now, like as in like in the future. What I'm going to do is just focus these 12 months on developing myself into a brand new person, someone I've never been before, remove like, you know, the vices from my life. Okay, you know, I did have a small group, a circle of friends right around me like during this time, but I was very careful with who I hung around. I just mainly stayed alone. I stayed solo. I didn't mess around with, you know, any girls or anything like that, right? Like, I was just like purely just on my self-improvement journey. And during this time, as I was developing myself, you know, 3 months went past, okay, 6 months went past, and I just fully changed things that I had complete control over. So for example, I had control over what went in my mouth. I started researching foods that gave me better emotional well-being, better mental health. I also was destined to get myself down to like single-digit body fat, which I did. I got myself down to like 8% body fat. As a challenge, I wanted to challenge myself. I started to read a lot. Like, I was like spending like 4 or 5 hours literally just reading, writing chapters out, reading, writing chapters out. That's all I would do, right? I would just fill like those A4 spiral books, those yellow ones. Literally, like, they would just get filled out like once a week. I would need like a new book. Like, I was literally reading and writing, and I started getting obsessed with, it was like I was an addict, but I was like a learning addict. Yeah, I was like addicted to strengthening my brain, like the way I was speaking, the way I was constructing sentences. I was like, what the fuck, is this even me? And you know, people I came across and talked to, they were just like, wow, who is this guy, right? Like, so if I can do it, you can do it too, right? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. So invested a lot of time in myself, into my growth, you know, started to, you know, learn some skills. As I started to, you know, change my physique, I started to get my confidence back again. Yeah, that was something I was lacking. Confidence, self-love. I didn't love myself when I was doing drugs. Obviously, I was taking the easy way out. My self-esteem was very low because I was cheating life. I was taking the easy way out. And ever since I started just like putting love into myself, like wholeheartedly wanting to become a better version of myself, that's when things started to change, right? That's when I started to develop my life's purpose. So when I got towards the end of the, like, sort of 6 months into the self-development, started transforming my physique, started transforming, you know, my life, started to construct sentences better, started to enjoy the whole learning process, created a morning routine. Like, I was someone that would sleep pretty much, and you might be able to relate, right? Snoozing till the last minute before you have to go to work, getting up and then just doing the same shit all over again, right? And average produces average, right? We got to admit that. So I was so glad of how far I came, and as I was developing myself and as I got myself, off the speed and didn't need rehab or anything like that, and as I started to forgive my father for the trauma he put our family through, because I didn't want to live with a victim mindset, I started to form better relationships with my parents. My mum was like, I remember to this day, my mum was like, thank God I got my son back. She lost me for years, because I was a different person. So she lost me for a long time, and she got me back. So all these little things add up. I still remember to this day, and I'm so grateful to have transformed my life around. And going back to the purpose now, as I was starting to develop myself, like 6 months into self-development, leading towards 12 months, doors started unlocking in my brain, and I was like, you know what? All the things that I was bad at, like for example, addictions, taking the easy way out, living that fast life, having bad habits, eating whatever I wanted when I felt like it, just living a pure life of instant gratification, and never achieving the dream body I always wanted and always envisioned. Like, I wanted to always look like someone that was fit, lean, healthy, like, in the front of like a men's health magazine. That's what I wanted, that physique. But I never attained it because I had so many bad habits, and I was taking the easy way out, that overrid the results that I was seeking, right? So I found my purpose in life, and my purpose in life right now is all the things that I was bad at, all the things that I had addictions with, all the things that I couldn't do. So for example, I had bad addictions with drugs. I had bad relationships with ex-partners, family members. My fitness and my health were not on par. I didn't look healthy when I was in my my addiction phases. I wasn't healthy. I didn't look healthy. I didn't feel healthy. I had low energy. So I'm like, you know what? My purpose in life is to become the best version of myself, meaning become the best physically fit version of myself. Okay, get rid of all the vices in my life, like get rid of all the addictions in my life, okay, and make loving relationships with those in my life as well. And those are the three things that I love to provide value on. Like, this is why I made this YouTube channel, so I can then give value back to people. So the things that I wasn't good at, I spent 12 months reconstructing myself, and I'm forever going to be a self-improvement, personal development individual. I'm always going to develop myself into being the best version of myself, right? So I'm going to be a lifelong student in this, and on the way, my purpose in life right now is to become the best version of myself, okay, in those areas that I was lacking, and give the best version of myself back to the world and help people with those things that I had that I couldn't help myself with, right? So addictions, that's why I'm so passionate about helping people get off drugs, helping people get off weed, operating from a bad mental health space because of your addictions is not healthy for you or your loved ones around you. You're just going to be a destructive mess. Eating good foods, having good skin, like looking lean, understanding, like loving yourself, like self-confidence, like all those things I was lacking. They're the things, and love in a relationship with women, like being a womanizer to now just wanting one girl, having one heart for one girl and treating her good, you know what I mean? Obviously, these are the things that I want to help people with, and that's my purpose in life. Fix the problems that I had and help people with those problems that I once had, once I've healed myself, okay? And because I've healed myself in those areas, I just consistently just learn skills around addictions, fitness, nutrition, relationships, love, and that's what I get joy out of. I get joy out of helping people in those areas because I've been through it myself. I can help people in those areas, and that's what brings me true fucking purpose and passion in this life. Like, when some people write in the comments like, hey bro, your videos really helped me with quitting weed, you know, I'm with you on this journey, blah, blah, blah. It makes me so happy. You don't understand. Like, you might just think I'm saying this, but from the bottom of my heart, I've had that materialistic life where I've had like the $100,000 vehicles. I've had all that bullshit, right? Living the fast life. And that brought nothing but misery into my fucking life, yeah? So what brings me joy and fulfillment and happiness is me living by my purpose and helping others through their addictions, their fitness, their health, bringing love and relationships back, you know what I mean? Not giving up. You know, being confident in oneself, not limiting one's self-beliefs. All these things are what is my purpose, and this is what I write. So I write on my wall what my purpose is, what my mission is, and I structure my content or my YouTube channel based around the value I can provide on lessons that I've learned, right? So that's my purpose. That's my purpose, plain and simple, and every day I just work towards my craft. And yeah, just develop myself into the best version. So what you can learn from this is, or what you could do is, firstly, I would recommend to, if you're not wanting to settle for less because you don't deserve it, to find your purpose, I would say just start small, start developing yourself, start fixing the areas that you know you're avoiding and taking the easy way out, right? Like, so let's say you're postponing the gym. You're like, all right, I'll go train tomorrow. Like, I'm a bit tired today, yeah? Okay. Now, let's say you say, oh, you want to eat clean, right? You tell everyone, oh, I'm going to eat clean, man, from now on. And then you order junk food that night. You tell yourself, oh, I'm going to eat clean tomorrow, right? Or your friends might say to you, hey, bro, do you want to go on a hike? Like, do you want to go on a hike and we'll burn some calories together? You know, it'll be good. And you're like, oh, I'll come with you next time, right? Like, I used to be that fucking person, man. So I totally understand, like, when you try to take the easy way out, but in the end it just hurts your insides, right? It hurts your soul. So I would recommend all the things that you're avoiding or that you're taking the easy way out with, start to fix those things, right? As you start to fix those things, and your life purpose can change it as you progress on your development journey, right? Like, whatever you have, you could start with something small, you know, like right now it's like, okay, my purpose right now is to become a better version of myself. How I'm going to do that? Okay, I'm going to get up early and I'm going to invest time into developing the areas that I need to develop to become the person I need to be, so I can then help others, my loved ones, my friends, those that will need help around me. I can be that role model that they can come up to and help. And man, that feeling, that rewarding feeling that you can give back when you are at that position where you've, you know, overcome those hurdles and you've reconstructed yourself into a new person, I can't explain the feelings of joy, man. Like, no fucking car, no materialistic object, none of that feels as good as the feeling of you actually genuinely helping someone, because it almost brings tears to my eyes knowing that, fuck, I was that person in that position once, right? If you've walked the walk before, you will understand the feelings or the sensations that you get from helping people that have been through the same problems with you in life, right? So that's what I recommend, man. Just honestly start small, like those things that you're lying to yourself with, like, I'm going to get a gym membership next month, I'm going to start getting my diet next week. You don't need to do that, man. You could start tomorrow, literally. I would highly recommend get Hal Elrod's book, Morning Miracle. Okay, that book transformed my life. Very easy to read book, very understandable. Okay, and just develop yourself and spend time into personal development, into making yourself a better person. Okay, and this, don't aim too high, just start small. Okay, and if you're someone that doesn't like to wake up early on time, like you like to snooze in, allow yourself to, you know, give yourself 1-2 hours to wake up. You know, start with 1 hour early wake up. Within that 1 hour early wake up, you invest time in yourself. Okay, even 2 hours, go to bed 2 hours earlier. Okay, if you say you're not a morning person, go to bed 2 hours earlier, right? Get up 2 hours earlier. I'm telling you, when you're up early in the morning, your brain is working at a different level, right? It allows you to get more productive tasks done. Okay, and once they're done, you get the hard stuff done. You then go to work, you come home, you eat your food, and you go to sleep. That's it. It's a lot more easier than doing things after work. That's why a lot of people fall off the bandwagon with things, because they're missing that window in life which allows you to work at superhuman levels, be in flow state, right? So my recommendation, okay, honestly, this is coming brother to brother, is invest time in yourself, okay, and just start by waking up early. You know, just start keeping yourself present, do a bit of meditation, gratitude journaling. You can start with that, and just start with some fitness. You know, start with fitness and just start with changing your diet. There's some basic things you can start with, okay, and as you progress and just keep consistently doing this, you'll start opening new doors in your life. The universe will send more doors to be unlocked. You will then find your greater purpose, okay? So things that you didn't like, things that you were not good at, let's say you weren't good at fitness, and you're like, oh, and you're always putting it off, but then you're like, you know what, I'm sick of being average, I'm going to just start developing myself. You invest time into your personal development. Let's say your fitness, you try to transform your physique, and then you solidly transform your physique in like 6 months, right? You go from looking shit to looking excellent. You start getting passionate about fitness, you start wanting to help people, you know, and your friends start coming up to you and going, hey bro, like, can you do that for me? Like, can you help me? You then start feeling rewarded, right? Your passion might be, or your purpose might be, you know, helping people get the dream bodies of their life that they've always been seeking, but always keep making excuses. Whatever it might be, you're going to develop it. As I said, your purpose will transform and transcend over time, but that's why I say start working on yourself, things that you have control over, things that you can start immediately, and as you progress with developing yourself, your purpose will then expand and change and grow, right? But your purpose right now as a man should be to develop yourself into the person you need to be and invest time into doing it. And I recommend getting that done in the mornings because your energy is fresh, you can get the important tasks done, and once you invest this time in the mornings, you'll never be someone that sleeps in ever again. Yeah, you'll always be someone that rises early, and you'll always be living a fulfilling and purposeful life, right? And when you do that, you operate, your energy increases, your charisma increases, your confidence increases. You're just an all-round better person to be around, right? Like, it's night and day results. Like, I'm not just saying this just because it worked for me, it's worked for plenty of people. I'm just sharing my experience, how I went from someone that was I was on the opposite side of the spectrum to where I'm at now, and if I can do it with all those problems I had, you can do it too, right? Like, so it's all about just making that move and believing in yourself, believing that you deserve more and not settling for less, right? So write down on a piece of paper, even on your wall, just go, my purpose for now is developing myself into fixing these areas, right? And your purpose right now might be, okay, I'm going to change the way I eat, I'm going to change the way I exercise, I'm going to start actually sticking to a program now and not just going when I feel like it. It might be just maintaining better relationships, it might be just, you know, smiling more at people in life, like just, you know, just put a smile and just say, hey, how are you? You know, it doesn't cost anything to just project your energy onto other people, right? It doesn't cost anything. So start with things that are small, that are in your control, okay? And then your purpose can change, and it will change, but write them down, and then that way it defines you as a person and you don't settle for an average life. Yeah, so alright, this video has gone for nearly 30 minutes. Sorry I've ranted a little bit, but I get so passionate when I speak about things like this because I know everyone's got that hidden potential within them. They just need to unlock it, okay? And I hope this video has moved you in some sort of way, okay? If you like my video, you know, give it a like. If you resonate with what I'm saying, please subscribe to my channel. It's a brand new channel, so I'm trying my very best to give you value from the bottom of my heart. But I hope everyone has a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.